Chapter 61. You really are a madman. Old Lou was so frightened, he almost stumbled. Is it really necessary to make such a big deal out of winning $10 from you? Do you think I want to live like a pig in this hellhole, relying on luck every day? The pigman reached up to touch the pig's snout on his mask. Though the mask was expressionless, it gave off a sinister vibe. You don't understand me. Only betting my life. Only betting my life against someone formidable makes life here meaningful. A look in the pigman's eyes gave Kijal the feeling that he had been pretending to be a pig, waiting for the day he could devour a tiger. Truly insane. Old Lu glanced at Kijal, feeling conflicted. The pigman had specifically called for him to bet his life. There was no time to escape now. Pigman, let's change the approach, Kijal said after a moment of thought. I'll still here and bet my life against you. There's no need for those two. Huh? Both old Lu and Lin Ting were momentarily stunned. Kid, what are you doing? Old Lu asked, bewildered. I brought you into this game. What does it mean for you to stay behind and bet your life? Tijal looked at old Lu in confusion, realizing he had been somewhat biased against him. He hadn't expected old Lu to be unexpectedly reliable in a critical moment. Uncle, Tijal said, the more people that stay, the more dangerous it is. If I die, you take my friend here to find that man and woman. No way. I'm not leaving. Lin Ting shook her head. Tijal, have you forgotten what I told you? I'm not leaving either, old Lu said, shaking his head. Kid, the pigman has picked you, by rights. This little girl and I should be safe. But don't worry. If you die, I'll personally collect your body. Tijal scratched his head helplessly. Though his view of old Lu had changed somewhat, his words were still difficult to hear. That sounds really ominous. Since that's the case, I won't try to dissuade you. Tijal sighed and looked up at the pigman. You mentioned a new game. What is it? The pigman displayed an excited expression again and pushed two pairs of glasses toward the two. Come on, put them on. Put them on. After hesitating for a moment, Penking and old Lu on the glasses. In the next second, mechanical arms extended from the ends of the glasses, wrapping around the backs of their heads with a click, fastening them together. Lin Ting felt uneasy. She tried to take off the glasses, but found them equipped with a complex mechanism, like a golden hoop tightly locked around her head. What's going on? Lin Ting began to speak, but the pigman interrupted her with a wave of his hand. Pretty lady, don't speak out of turn, the pigman said with a smile. From now on, you can only stay safe if you follow my rule. Rule? Your glasses have activated now, the pigman explained. One of you will feel the glasses are cold, and the other will feel them are hot. For the duration of this game, the one who feels cold can only speak lies, while the one who feels hot can only speak the truth. Tijal had an ominous premonition. This game mode felt familiar. If you try to have any funny ideas or speak out of turn before the game starts, the pigman pointed to his forehead. This will be penetrated. Understood. Lin Ting immediately closed her mouth, realizing there was something triggering in the space between her eyebrows. The insides of the glasses had been wound up, possibly a bowstring or a laser. Old Lu's expression shifted between green and purple. He understood that talking too much can lead to trouble, and he wasn't sure which of his words might trigger the mechanism. Seeing the two fall silent, the pigman turned back to Kijal and said, the game you and I are about to play has similar rules to the last one, but this time, I will assign the pieces. You'll assign? Kijal looked at the pieces on the table, pondering for a moment. So after you assign, I'll choose? Exactly. The pigman nodded. Doesn't that sound unfair to you? Of course it's unfair. Though he said this, Kijal knew the rules weren't finished yet, as the rules regarding truths and lies hadn't fully unfolded. So out of the kindness of my heart, I'll add another rule. The pigman chuckled. After you finish choosing, you need to ask these two for color confirmation. You can only ask once, regardless of whom you choose. Then he looked at Lin Ting and old Lu. To keep it fair, you two can only answer with black, White. Is that okay? The two nodded in fear. Tisha seemed to understand that this rule was absurd. Now he couldn't know who among Lin King and old Lu would tell the truth. Asking would only complicate things further. The watch theorem. Keisha closed his eyes and muttered, when a person has only one watch, they know the time clearly. But when there are two watches showing different times, they can't trust either. Are you ready, Keisha? A pigman asked. Keisha took a deep breath, raised his head to look at the pigman. I want to ask you the same thing. This is a life or death gamble. Are you ready? Life? The pigman chuckled, soon shaking with laughter. What life do we have left here? Only in death can I feel if truly lived. Tijan nodded. He knew the pigman had likely been living here for a long time, and ordinary reasoning couldn't sway him. So Tish reached for the blindfold and put it on. The pigman silently began to assign the pieces. Lin King and Dou Ru watched these two, comment collected, clearly the ones betting their lives, while they themselves trembled with anxiety. Do you want to get out? Tizhao suddenly asked. What? The pigman didn't even look up, speaking nonchalantly. Apart from dying here, have you never thought about escaping? The pigman's hand paused mid-air before he replied. Where would I escape to? Go back to where you came from, Huizhao said seriously, even with the blindfold on. Don't you want to go back? The pigman pondered for a moment and said, if I didn't want to go back, why would I willingly become a pig? What? Dijah felt he had stumbled upon some important clue. But I don't intend to escape. Dijah. The pigman finished placing the pieces and said solemnly, I plan to walk out of here in broad daylight.